Hi everyone, welcome to another After Sunset Sunday, and we have our wonderful guest Sean from the Guy Who Sews here with us tonight, and I believe I've got everything set up correctly, and his link should be in the description box below the video. We are going to be working on Fab Farm today, so Sean, tell us a little bit about how your project is going.
It's been going well. I have finished. I'm doing the small version. So Tammy is making four of each block. I am being lazy and doing one. I've actually made this pattern before, and it was one that I really, really wanted to recreate and do a second time because I gave that one away as a baby warming gift to a coworker of mine. So when Tammy said, "Hey, I want to do this project," I'm like, "Hey, count me in. I'm going to join you." But this is my horse block, which I think most people
Oh,
have seen already.
I love it. It's
Me too.
fantastic.
It was supposed to be the other way around. I wanted to do this solidish looking color as the main part and this
The other
dapple
is the
part as
main.
the
Yep.
background. But I cut it out wrong and I'm like, you know what, I'm not recutting it.
I don't
But it
blame
turned
you.
out really cute. So
Yay.
I'm really happy with that.
Awesome.
And we are going to do a different block this time, correct?
Yes, we are working on the goat. The goat is the
Very
next
good.
one in the book for how the instructions are written. So that's the one we're picking up. So let's go grab everybody in the chat. I know you've already been chatting with everybody. We've got Jess, we've got Katie, we've got Judy, Chloe, Linda. All right. Rita is here. Joyce Hernandez is here. Welcome in, Ollie. Nancy is here. Katie is here. And William just dropped in. Okay. Everybody's coming over. Thank you guys. Welcome in,
Yep.
Terry. Glad you're here. Glad you're
Yeah, for
here.
sure. Yeah, no, thank you so much for having me. I'm normally not on this late. I am the morning guy, not the evening guy, but this is really the best time that works for Tammy and I. So here I am. I wasn't going to tell her to be up at whatever time it is, 6 a.m. to be on my life
It is
again.
so hard to get up at
So
6.
it's hard, like, getting up at 8
It
or
is.
being ready at 8. Is challenging enough, but I couldn't imagine doing it at 6. I've had a few people come on at that time, but I was like, no, I'm not gonna be that cruel to us. So
Well, we've got
cool.
everybody else dropping in as well. We've got Tasha, welcome in, Laura, Mona, Shelby, and who else am I missing? I know I'm missing somebody. All right, you guys let
Mona's
me
here.
know. Oh, we got a new
Laura, I think
subscriber too. Yay.
you have new subscribers. That's nice.
Yep.
Mine
Yep.
seems mine seems to be dropping like a stone today. Like I've lost like 5 or 6
Oh,
today for some reason.
you're
But
not the
it
only.
happened.
Yeah, you're not the only one. Kathy and I were talking about that Thursday because both of us were getting hit.
Yeah.
So if you guys look at your subscription list, make sure that you are subscribed to everybody you want to be subscribed to. Otherwise, YouTube's just going to bump you off.
Yeah, it seems to happen about this time of year for some reason. I think they go through and purge, like if you haven't watched their videos in a while, or they
Yeah.
purge all the robots and the spammers and all that sort of stuff there as well. So, I mean, it's not, as long as people enjoy the content, I think I'll be okay. But it's always a little disconcerting every time you check in. It's like, oh, you've lost another 2 or 3, but you know.
Exactly.
People are still coming over and viewing it and hitting the like button and commenting, and that's I'm not super concerned about it because if I can't control that. I can't control who hits that button and who doesn't. All I
True.
can control is producing content that folks want to watch. So as long as I do that, the rest will take care of itself.
Yeah, as long as you're enjoying what you're doing, you're going to produce, content people are going to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. We've
Totally
got
agree.
and Debbie has joined the chat. Welcome in, Debbie. And hang on there. Jacqueline, welcome in, Jacqueline. Glad you're here. Laura says, I think YouTube has been messing with things. I had to go back through my subscriptions. Yeah, YouTube is definitely messing with people. So yeah, if you know a channel that you want to watch, make sure that you go check them out and make sure that you're still subscribed because it's the YouTube purge.
Yes, and maybe hit that like button on a video or two just to make sure it
Yes,
knows you like it. Yeah, it helps us out too.
it does.
And then if you're not getting the notifications, what I tend to tell folks too is hit the unhit the notification bell and then re-hit it. Sometimes you got to kind of like reset it as well.
Yes.
So there you go. Rita says, "Stupid migraines. I hate those things. Those goofy light flashes drive me wackos." Yeah, and I get
Oh,
migraines now when the temperature changes or the pressure changes. I never used to, but now that I guess I'm getting older, that's something that seems to be happening more and more, unfortunately. But we'll make
we
it work.
we power through like we always do.
Oh yeah, well, what choice do I have?
Exactly, exactly.
All right, let's
Let's
see
see.
what's next on my list.
Mona said that
'Cause I'm gonna
Rita
try
last
and,
she was unsubscribed from a channel she watched every week.
yeah,
Oh, thank you,
it's
Katie. Remind everybody to hit the thumbs up like button. We greatly
yes, it does
appreciate
help us
it.
out immensely because everybody that's hits that like button or interacts with us in any way does help out the metrics and the algorithm and all that sort of stuff there, which helps us all out. Oops, what did I do
Yeah.
here?
Yeah, Joyce says unsubscribe. Welcome in, Andrea. Glad you're here. Let's
Oh, Miss
see.
Andrea's here. That's nice.
Yeah, she said she's under the weather, but she's here for support.
Excellent.
She's not gonna be chatting. That's okay.
Yeah, I
Take your
mean,
rest as you need it.
yeah, and the watch hours are watch hours anyway. Like the chat helps, but if you just are able to watch, because I sometimes I'll pop into a chat like a live, and I might say hi, and then I'll wander off and so for a bit. I can't do both. I cannot be active in the chat and so at the same time. I'm sure there's folks out there that can. I am not one of them. I wish I was, but
I
yeah.
I'm definitely not one either. Welcome in, Janet. She says, "Hello, everyone. Newbie here." Yes, I saw that you subscribed. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We're glad you're here. Welcome to the
Oh, my
chat.
friend Jan. That's yeah,
Yeah.
Jan Johnson. Yeah, she's my friend from she's over in Western Australia. So it's Monday morning for her at 10 a.m.
Oh,
So
goodness.
yes, if you want to know what it's like tomorrow, just ask Jan. She'll be able to tell you.
It's always
Yeah,
Monday
she's been
somewhere.
watching my it's always Monday somewhere. Yeah. Western Australia at this point in time is 12 hours ahead of us.
Okay.
And
So
it
8 a.m.
changes based, when
Mountain Time.
once once we jump forward, it'll be 11 hours, I think it is. I think they fall back an hour. Yeah, it
Oh,
is. That's what
okay.
it is. They fall back. Yeah, Western Australia does not. Some of the country down there is observing daylight savings now until about Aprilish.
Oh, okay.
Um, but Western Australia is not one of those. They don't observe it.
I don't blame
But we
them.
won't get too much in. Well, I won't get too much into that because that tends to be a controversial topic, and everyone has their opinion about it,
Oh,
which is
yeah.
great. But we don't want to get into a fight over that because that's kind of happened before in the chat on one of my lives. So it's kind of one of those things that kind of brush over real quick and move on.
Oh,
So,
Janet just said, sorry, but I followed Jess from her neighborhood in North Carolina. Oh, gotcha.
okay.
um, Welcome in, Susie. Ollie says he's not as chatty today. He hurt his. Oh no, Ollie, you need to be
Yeah,
getting
that's
better.
not good. Yeah, look
No,
after
no,
yourself.
no hurt backs. No hurt backs. That's not cool.
No.
Um, Tasha said that she does the same thing. She says hello, and she either starts sewing or playing her chess puzzles.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
it's I have to choose one.
Oh, okay. B needs the two C's. Okay. I did print out those labels you sent me. They are
Oh, nice.
fantastic. So I still
Yeah.
pinned them with my little magic pins. Um, but they're going to work fantastic.
Yeah, and they're customizable. You can add to them. You can change the colors. Like I change the colors every set I print out, so that way if I'm using different projects, I'm not getting them mixed up and that sort of thing there. So it's very, very customizable. If you have any, if you're able to use Google Sheets or Excel in any fashion, know how to change all that stuff. You can really do whatever you want with it. And I've had to change them a few times. Like there's been a couple of blocks for the like Alice in Wonderland and well, mostly Alice in Wonderland, where it's like got all these, like they had extra blocks
Oh, gotcha.
that you need. Like it went through like the whole alphabet, double letters was full, and I think it went to like Roman numerals after that. It was like X,
Oh my
XV,
goodness.
X. Yeah,
That's crazy.
that's when you know you've got a lot of cutting to do.
Yes. Yes, agreed. A ton of
I
cutting.
think that was, I
Oh,
think that was for the
Hinge.
one I just finished, the caterpillar. I think the caterpillar had the, um,
All the crazy parts.
yeah, like the million. There's always one block in those solo longs that's really intense, like the Alice in Wonderland one. It was the Emerald City block where it had the Emerald City. Above that, it said "No place like home." It was all spelled out in block letters, and then there was a balloon above it. I think it had like
Gotcha.
200. I lost count, but it was like 230 or 40 pieces or something altogether. And that took quite a while to get done, but it was a fun little project. So,
Yeah, I got the goats in pajamas from Art East to do. It's Kennedy wanted to do it, so I decided I would do it with her. And
hmm
I think she looked at how many pieces, and she's like, "No, we're not ready for that one right yet."
You do it one block at a time. The way they wrote those patterns too, and it's like with the Elizabeth Hartman pattern that we're doing right now. They
Mhm.
break it down into single blocks. So like, yeah, you can go ahead and cut them out for all 12 blocks or whatever it is if you want. But if you want to do it one block at a time and just make it into like little meal-sized pieces, so like more manageable, you can
Yeah.
definitely do that. And if I remember correctly, Chloe, who's in the chat, has done that pattern. She's done the goats and pajamas pattern and did it
Ah,
quite successfully.
I think I
So
remember that. I think I remember saying that. Shelby
yeah, I
says
haven't.
goats in pajamas are super cute. Yes, they are. I haven't done it yet, but they are cute.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to do it yet. I have plenty of their patterns right now that are on my list that I need to attempt first. So I may
Welcome in,
never get
Gladys.
I may never get to it, but no, it's definitely a fun pattern.
I have a Quiltworks pattern on my project box list. I still have all the cutoffs from my last Elizabeth Hartman project that are getting trimmed slowly but surely down so that I can create another quilt with that. Oh, Chloe says that our East patterns are very well written. Only one block for her
Oh,
boss is all she did.
oh, okay.
I don't
I
blame
knew
you.
she'd I knew she'd done something with it.
So I posted a paper piecing pattern. It was Renee Merrill. It's from her page.
Right.
Um, and it's a paper pieced heart. And
Oh, nice.
she's offering it right now as a free pattern. Um, I took her class at Paducah and absolutely loved it.
Oh, very nice.
Welcome in, Eva. Glad you are here. She says hello, everyone. The chat gets so quiet sometimes. Everybody's just
Yeah, sorry.
listening.
And I'm concentrating on this pattern to make sure I do this correctly.
Oh, you're good. I'm having to. Mine is laid out on the other side of me so that I can keep looking back at it. I think it's going to be a requirement this go round.
Yeah, this block was fairly easy. I don't remember it being super difficult, but you do need to concentrate because if you don't put it in the right order, it becomes problematic.
Yeah,
That
it
sort of
looks
thing
like
there.
you can easily get it out of sync, and you're putting the wrong pieces at the wrong points.
I've I did that once. I put some stuff together in the wrong order, or I missed a piece. It's very easy if you're not careful of the Art East or the Elizabeth Hartman. It's very easy to miss a piece. I
Oh,
did
I
that with
bet.
the winged monkey. I forgot like his chin or something like that, and I probably put 2 or 3 hours into this, or maybe an hour or two into this block
Oh
when I
my
realized my
goodness.
mistake. And there was no real good way for me to fix it without having to recut it and redo it. So,
Oh,
lesson learned.
ouch.
Sometimes you learn the hard way. I seem to learn the hard way a lot.
So I've got B to C. Let's see.
Yeah, that's this part
It's
here.
D. So we sewed D to the bottom and E to
Yeah,
the
that's the D.
sides.
Yeah, that's what I was just doing a second ago.
And
Yeah, the D
then
goes on first, and then the E goes on the sides.
and then we don't put L on there until after all that's together.
No,
Okay.
I haven't
L
got that
comes in a
far
little bit
yet.
later. Yeah, I laid it out based off of the diagram. So I laid it out that way, not knowing that when I laid it out that way, I was going to be backtracking.
Yeah,
So
and you're using the kit, correct?
I am. Uh huh. Oh,
Okay.
welcome, Susan. She says, just popping in to say hi. She's at her brother's, so not staying on. No worries, Susan. Glad to see you.
Oh, yeah, thanks for popping in for a little bit. It's always good to see each and every one of you.
It is. Somebody popped in.
Eva,
Yeah, Eva Opal. Yeah,
I love that name. The opal just reminds me of the gemstones in Australia. So I love that name. Every time I see it, it makes me smile.
Opal is actually my birthstone. I'm an
I
October
think you
baby.
told me that before. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't actually have anything with opal in it. I have some pink, I believe it's tanzanite, I believe is the other stone. But I don't have any
Okay.
opal. Usually you see, yeah, you see October with either an opal, an actual opal, or you see it with some pink colored stone.
They get
Yeah,
expensive too, especially if you get the full stone because you can find it.
mm-hmm.
Um, they sell it three different ways. There's what they call a triplet, which is a very thin slice of opal, and then there's like a plastic coating over the top to give it like magnification and stuff. And then I think there's a doublet, which is a little bit thicker, and then the full stone, which is a little more fragile, but it's the most expensive because it's a bigger piece of the stone.
I was told as a kid the whole reason that I never had any opal or that I didn't already have any opal was because you can't get it wet. Welcome in, Crafty Witch. Glad you are here.
I'm not sure if that's true or not. It's from what I understand, it's very, very expensive here in the United States.
Yeah, it is fragile, but I was told that you couldn't get it wet, and I don't know why they told me that, but I know I was told that. I don't think it's pink
Yeah.
topaz, Shelby. I think it's I don't I don't remember what it's called, but it comes in other colors other than pink, but most everybody only sees it in pink. So whatever that
Right.
other gemstone is, it's available. It just it's not popular in the other colors.
Yeah.
Ah, Katie
Yeah.
Krause is here as well. Welcome in.
Hi, kiddo. How you doing? Always good to see you.
We're getting the whole
A lot
crew
of names
out.
I recognize. Nice.
Yep. Crafty Witch. Have you seen her channel before?
Crafty Witch. I don't
Huh?
know that I have. I need to go
She,
check it out.
she's a late nighter.
Okay.
That's how I usually catch her. And she makes crocheted little creatures and different things. I know the other night she was working on some sunflowers. She was
Nice.
I watched her make characters from Ghostbusters, like the marshmallow creature
Oh, that's
guy,
fun.
and I don't remember his name, but also the little slime ghost thing that they
Yeah, I can't
fought in the
remember his
movie,
name. Yeah.
Slimy or something. She made a miniature version of each of those.
Oh, very
Yeah, it's cute.
nice.
It's cute to watch and great personality. So fun, very fun.
Oh,
Um,
yeah. Well, she's a late nighter. She probably doesn't come visit me on my morning lives. So
Morning lives are probably not our friend. Sorry.
that's okay.
Um,
I'm not everybody's a morning person like me, so that's perfectly fine.
my
I'm not
husband's a
going to
morning
get
person.
upset or offended. So
Oh, she said it's Slimer and Stay Puffed were the name
that's
of the
right.
creatures that she made. That brings back memories.
Yes.
Lana, welcome in, Lana. Glad you are here.
Yes, I saw you popped in. I actually got to visit well, not just the outside of it, the firehouse in New York. You can actually see that. And there's a subway station like across the street. Like you come out of the subway station and then you look across and there's the fire station. And I think it's still a working firehouse.
Oh my goodness.
I think so. And they got like a big Ghostbusters logo on like the driveway there and everything else. So it's one of
There
those
was
things like you just look it up. Like you hop out, if it's a nice easy stop. You just, as I said, you run out of the subway station, you go up, you take your photos, and then get back on the subway and go to your next place if you want.
Oh, Tasha says Slimer, what a blast from the past, right?
I know,
Absolutely.
right?
Um, there's somebody, I think here in town that has a Ghostbusters car. Like they've got it all decked out, like it's the
Yeah, they have one of
Ghostbusters
those here
theme.
too. I see them driving around sometimes. Someone's driving around in a Jurassic Park vehicle, and then there's someone rolling
There's one
around
of
with the
those too.
Ghostbusters.
I think there is one with the Jurassic Park too, but I know there's a Ghostbusters one. I know there's one of those here.
Yeah.
All right, so they don't
Yeah.
have you assemble L until we're assembling the other stuff. I'm going to throw it in as I go. I'm going to throw it in. Did I cut enough of L? Because it needs
I was,
two
I don't
per.
know. I wasn't there when you cut
Oh.
it, so.
Appropriate answer. So appropriate of an answer.
Okay, I'll rephrase that. The answer is I hope so. How about that?
Oh no, your first one was a perfect answer. Oh, Katie's having dinner, roasted a chicken, and Crafty Witch says, Katie, we had lemon chicken
Me,
soup.
Katie at Greenland Quilter is dinner, isn't it
Uh,
like 1:20 in the 1:20 in the
uh,
morning for her?
it might be. Katie Crafts is out of Colorado, if I'm not mistaken, so she's on Mountain
Ah,
Time.
okay, Katie. I thought you said KT, like as in Greenland Quilter. I was like, that's a very late dinner for her.
Yeah, no, Katie. I don't
Okay,
tend to pronounce my D's very harshly or very, very
okay.
strongly, so I understand.
It's like, okay, I'm missing something here.
Yeah,
All
no,
right, so
Katie
this is
from
what
Katie
I've got
Crafts.
done so far.
I love it. That's what I've got done on. I should have shown mine, but that's what I've gotten done. Except for I don't have the two pieces attached. I've got the the
Maybe
top.
it's the fabrics. Maybe it's the fabrics I'm using, but this kind of looks like a schnauzer to me. Like,
It does. I was thinking that same thing as I was sewing it. That or a koala nose. I have.
the nose, yes, that's very true. And I think if you look at her koala pattern, which I've got the quilt top over there somewhere, it's probably identical to be honest. I'd have to
It
go look.
probably is.
But
Oh my
um,
goodness.
I'm pulling my fabrics from stash, and I was looking for some this color here I used last time, but
Yeah,
this one here is new. It was actually some scraps left over
I
from
like it.
the snippets I got from the Wild West Possum Mystery Quilt. And I was like, this will
Oh,
look really cool
perfect.
for, I'm not sure if you can see it very well or not. It's
Here
almost
we
like a
go.
spider web. So
Yes. Oh,
there you go.
perfect.
Now,
Absolutely perfect.
yeah.
Yeah. That is crazy awesome. Yes.
Yeah, it was just sitting here next to me and I was like, oh, that'll work out nicely for that. And then I actually found a different fabric in the same line, scraps for the horns, which we'll get to hopefully fairly shortly.
Perfect. Katie Greenland Quilter is still here. She says she's not making food. That was hours ago, although pancakes at this time of the night kind of sounds good. And Mona wants pancakes too. Cynthia, welcome
Okay.
in.
Speaking
Um,
of pancakes, my wife found this recipe. She subscribes to this like meal planning place where they send you recipes that you can pre-plan and everything else.
yes.
And one of them is these pancakes that you bake on a baking sheet.
Okay.
And you put it like you use your Bisquick and some eggs and some, if you can afford eggs, milk and that sort of thing. Like, yeah, after you get your bank loan for your eggs, yeah, so it's just like all the regular stuff you make pancakes in, but instead of having to put it on the griddle and flip it and all this other sort of mess, you put it onto like a baking sheet and you slap it in the oven for like 15 minutes and out come the pancakes and it's perfectly
I'm
fluffy and they're really, really good. And that's the only way I'm ever going to make pancakes from now until the day I die because it's so much easier. You know?
I started doing that with bacon, cooking the bacon in the oven,
Oh, that's all I
and
do.
I
I
won't do
haven't
it any other
fried.
way.
Yeah, I've been doing that for years now. It's really good. But yeah, if you find a pancake recipe, the one we have is, I think it's copyrighted, so I can't, give you measurements
Yeah.
or anything else like that. But go online and find one. Someone's got a pan-based pancakes. Try it out one day because, as I said, once you find a recipe you like with that and it's fluffy, you won't go back. Like I'll never. If I want the round pancakes that you get at IHOP, I'll go to IHOP or Waffle House or something like that and get them there. But yeah, if it's at home, I'm throwing it in the oven.
I don't blame you. Cynthia says, "Hi guys, I'm arriving late tonight. What are we making? We are working on the goat from Fab Farm. It's an Elizabeth Hartman pattern. Uh, the information about it is in the description box below the video. So in case you need the reference or you need it typed out, that's where you can find it. So last month we worked on the horses or the ponies.
Yep.
Sean had
But you
one,
have,
and I had to make four. Oh, it's
yep,
so
there we go.
stinking
So
cute.
that's what we made last month. Yeah, because there's two different sizes with this pattern. There's a small which works out to be about 39 by 39, I think it is,
I think so.
which
Let's see.
makes a beautiful baby quilt. That's what I made
Uh,
it for.
38 by 39 is the official.
Okay, I was close.
Yes, you were
I,
very
I think
close.
I figured I was in the ballpark, but it makes a beautiful baby quilt.
Yes,
As I
it
said, that's what I
does.
made last time for. I made it for a coworker. I gave it to her, and then I was like, I wish I'd kept that thing. And I still have all the fabrics. Like I had the same background fabric and everything else left over. So I was like, that's one of these things I wanted to do a second time. And then yeah, Tammy came along and said, Hey, I want to do this Elizabeth Hartman pattern. And I was like, Oh, excellent. Okay, well, and here I am at 10 something p.m. trying not to
he's
make mistakes.
he's up with the late night crowd. Welcome
Oh,
in, Rayanne. Glad you're here.
then where's my other piece of fabric? Where did you go?
I'm not there. I can't help with that.
I know. I thought I had two of these.
We're gonna start getting sillier the further into this we
Oh
go,
yeah.
aren't we?
Heaven help us all. Where did they go? I had two of those. I know I did. At
Are you
least I
doing
hope I.
V and N right
Yeah.
now? Yeah.
Yes.
Make sure you lay those out.
Oh, I'm going to. I messed them up one time.
They're a mess.
Yeah.
I had
Mhm.
to figure out because V is darker in the book than what my V is, and my N is
Yes.
darker than what their N is. So I had to
Yeah.
go by
But
letters,
I'm
not colors.
yeah, but I'm used to that with the puzzle mystery quilt mold. So
Oh, that's true. You do a lot of those. Are you doing flyaway?
yes.
Are you
Um
able to tell us your colorway?
yes, that was announced on Thursday. And where's it hiding out? It's here somewhere. No, that's rabbit. That's
Oh,
the
I was
pig.
asking Sean, you didn't sew both into the one spot, did you?
No, I haven't sewn anything yet, but that's a good question. I could have sworn I pulled one off. I'm
Look
gonna have
on
to
the
go cut
floor,
another one.
Sean, is Lana's suggestion.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Um,
Are you on the floor?
Cynthia, yes, Sean is in Virginia.
Yes. Okay,
He's
so where'd you go? I put you away earlier. I'll have to hop up and cut another piece in a minute. Or can I go without it?
you could assemble one
No.
half of the goat. Well, you could assemble the top separately and the one half of the
No,
goat.
I'll just go cut another one. It's another V, which is not that much.
Not bad. Good night, Judy. She
One and a
says catch
half.
y'all later. Night all.
And as
Um,
soon as I cut this thing, it'll reappear.
and Rayanne said that she lost a piece of fabric once and found that she'd sewn two in one spot. Yeah, this it's hard to sew two in one spot on this one because everything is slightly different sized.
Yeah, and I would have thought that that was one of the options I went to, but I haven't sewn anything yet, so it can't be that. It's not on the floor here.
Lana says in your lap as well.
we're just going to cut another piece. Oh, what are you doing down there? Where'd you come from?
Did the dog walk off with it?
No, the dogs are both sleeping. They're innocent for once.
For once. Oh, good night, Mona. She says night all.
Yeah,
And
she's on the east coast of me, I think. So,
yep, Crafty Witch said, Sean, I subbed and we'll try to catch an early show.
well, thank you very much for that. Yeah, I'm on at 8 a.m. Eastern, so I am on super early for everybody. A lot of people watch the replay, which is perfectly fine, because I know 8 a.m. is early,
A
early,
little,
early for a lot of folks.
a little way too early for me.
And that's fine, but that's the best time that's the time that works for me and my family. So that's when I
Oh
go
yeah.
live.
Yeah, no worries. No worries.
But I'm not gonna, be delusional enough to think that everybody's going to be willing to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning or 6 o'clock in the morning to come hang out with me. It'd be nice if you, yeah, if you want to, great. I'd love to have you, but there's not the first bit of judgment here if you say that's too early.
Yeah, the back of my eyelids are what wants my attention at that time of the morning.
Yeah. And another reason I do the lives at time is a lot of times the girls like to sleep in on a Saturday morning, so that works out beautifully for everybody.
Lana said that would be her luck. She'd cut another piece and she'd find the one she lost.
Oh, I know that's what's going to happen. But at this point,
We're just cutting the next one, the replacement piece.
like, I am. I'm almost done cutting it, and then we'll continue on a merry way. But if we find the other one, I could probably use it for another block,
That's
further down the
true.
road. So that's
Yes.
why I'm not. I could get upset over it. I could get frustrated over it, but it's not gonna help me at all.
No.
And it'll all work out in the wash. So
So
let's talk. Let's see what happens. Who wants to guess in the chat? When am I going to find that extra piece? 5 minutes from now? 10 minutes? Tomorrow? Never? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear.
are you wearing shoes or
No
socks?
shoes. No.
Oh, I was gonna say check on the bottom of your shoe or sock or foot pedal.
No, it's not. It's not on the ground. Well, anyway, we got
Okay.
they cut. Um, it's cut now, so we can continue on our merry way. Where'd my window go? Come here. There we go.
Rita says when you stop looking for it, it's when you're gonna find it.
Oh, it is. I know that. Yeah, it's just like I'm not. You can only put so much time into something before you decide it's not worth it anymore.
Chloe says 15 minutes later. Cynthia says when the dogs wake up.
Normally, I could blame the animals, but this time, like they've been sleeping since the live started. They gave up looking for the HD. While I put their medicine in. I'm not going to say the word because that'll wake them up. But they've
Just
just
like I
gone to
can't say
sleep and figured they'll get it eventually.
just like I can't say the C word.
Right.
Ollie says 10 minutes right after the block is past where you needed that next piece.
That's probably my best guess too. But that's okay. We're having fun with this.
Oh yeah.
It's not going to help me by getting upset or frustrated by it. So I just recut it, and now we are moving along and having a grand old time.
Yeah, this is a no stress project. That's why it's split out in 2 months. It's not, we're not trying to complete this like I did the star systems last year, where I was rushing to get it done.
And that's the nice thing about this pattern is how it's written is that each one is set up like its own little block. Like it's got its own little cutting instructions, its own little thing. If you make it in a small like me, it probably takes an hourish to cut the fabric out, and maybe it takes almost as long to cut it as it does to make it.
True. Very true.
Now, when you're cutting out the big one like Tammy's doing it, that's probably a whole different kettle of fish, but
It takes a little bit longer. I will say that. It doesn't take that much longer than I would expect it to take, though. Like, it's not.
right. It's not 4 times as
excessive.
long.
No. No, definitely.
But you can chain piece a lot too, which is nice.
Cynthia says that she has to spell in front of her dogs.
My dogs are too smart for their own good sometimes.
Yeah, I can't bother spelling in front of him because the moment I start spelling, I will continue spelling, and then I will lose that option too.
Yeah, we have to get one of those what they call a vault food canister for their
Uh-huh.
food because Finley, the little one, she figured out how to open up the regular food canisters.
Oh no.
She saw people opening it, and apparently one day I was on the other side of the city at Joanne's getting fabric, and my wife was sick, and the dogs are kicking up a stink downstairs. And she came down and found Finley was inside the food canister that she'd opened, got into kicking out food for Copper to eat. Bandit wasn't getting anything, so he was barking. And and so that was the day. That's on the way home. I stopped by Petco and got the Vault, which is basically it's almost like a watertight thing. It's got like a screw right on the
Mm-hmm.
top, and even now, if you don't screw it down all the way properly, she can start unscrewing it. That dog is way
Oh.
too. It's way too smart for its own good.
Well, she
If you
doesn't
screw
view
it,
it as a problem.
no. But it was just funny. Yeah, went somewhere and there was a smaller version of the food thing we used to have, and she watched people open it. It was on her level. She could see how it opened, and she started opening it herself. She's like, "Oh, this is cool."
Oh, dang.
So
Lana's
that's why
asking,
sometimes why you want your dogs to be dumb.
yeah, dumb dogs make it easier to maintain. Um, I mean, we got to reward the smart dogs because they're smart enough to figure some of this stuff out. But yeah, sometimes the dumb dogs are the ones that help us out. um,
Yes,
Lana asks, "What days are you live, Sean?" She'll have to see if you're on
I
before she goes to sleep.
yeah I am on at 8 a.m. Eastern on Saturday mornings. Generally, that's the only time I am live. I might do a special live once, maybe twice a year at a different time, but that is my weekly standing time there as well. So there you go. All right, we've got 40 people watching, 43. That is
Yes.
awesome.
Yep. Yep.
Nice little crowd here today.
Oh, Rayanne, good cat. She said 30 thumbs up and 40 people watching. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up. Thank you, Rayanne. I appreciate it.
Yes,
Uh,
thank you.
and Tasha's now asking. So the real question is, Lana, is he on before you wake up? Well, he might be on before she goes to sleep. I think she is a late night owl like I am. Not an
Right.
over I'm not an overnight owl like I used to be, but I'm a late night. And
Okay, so
then
that's that. That's that. Okay, where's Q? Okay.
and
All right, so I've gone past the point where I would have needed the piece of fabric, so now it can show up.
welcome in, Pam. Glad you're here. She says hi, Tammy, Sean, and Chatters.
Thank you for that.
Yep. Lana says, Tasha, I'm still up then. Shelby said that she likes the cut as you go method, makes it feel like less work. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. From experience with that Star Systems, I cut everything and I started sewing everything in batches. And when you're sewing that many flying geese, it's a little exhausting.
Yeah, I've really come to realize over the last probably year or so that I am not a person that enjoys making the same block 10, 20, 30, 40 times. These are why these sampler blocks like this and a lot of the stuff I do with Hard East, the sew-alongs and that sort of thing there is my go-to because I do it once. And I
Yeah,
just have come to real like some folks are really good at making like, 20, 30, 40 star blocks or hourglass blocks and that sort of thing there. And I'm like, that's not where I find joy.
yeah.
So,
I
but
do
everyone's
have
different. God,
I do have a flying geese pattern that I'm going to release at the end of the year. But it's going to be all different size flying geese. So
okay,
would that make it more interesting? I mean, there's going to be a lot of repeat, but there's going to be a lot of different sizes.
right. And I don't mind that either. Like if and I it doesn't matter what it is too. If there's a small size, that's usually what I gravitate towards because A, I can get done quicker, and B, I can, yeah, I don't get as bored as quickly. I get. Yeah, so yeah, I'd be interested in looking at it and trying. I don't mind flying geese. Like flying geese is one of those things that I didn't really struggle with, which was weird, but I think it's because I did so many half square triangles first. Like I got
Yeah.
really, really good at those. And so once it came to flying geese, when I started doing those, it was like, oh, it's just like putting two of these together. So that was really neat that I was able to do it that way.
Rita
And I think
agrees
I ran
with
out of
you.
bucket thread too.
Rita agrees
Yep,
with
it's
you. No,
empty.
me neither. Way too much repetition. And some of the ones that don't have
Missing
repeating
pieces now
blocks.
picky. Oh, you're dirty. You need to be cleaned. Let's see if it's under the sewing machine. Nope, not there.
Oh,
Maybe I only cut.
that was where my vote was going. Is under the sewing machine.
I only cut one piece. I
You're in
don't know.
another dimension.
I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't really matter now anymore because the problem has been solved. And now the next problem we got to solve is doing another bobbin.
Ah,
That's the one thing that's the one thing I do miss with my old machine is that it had the drop-in bobbin where you could see how much you had left.
now with that machine that you've got, it's very much like my portable one that I call Ricky. Um, I listen for my machine.
I tried out. I haven't succeeded yet. I haven't used it enough.
Yeah, you'll get there. You'll get there. Um, I mean, for as long as you're gonna, however long you're using it until you replace the other one or find what your next dream machine is. Yeah, it's that. I mean, I travel with Ricky, so every time I'm out and about, I'm listening to my machine the entire time I'm
Right.
sewing.
Yeah, I got very good at that with the brother machine. Like I was able to listen to it, and I was like, okay, even without looking at it, I could tell um, it wasn't far off. So I definitely
Yeah.
know what you're saying. But yeah, I'm hoping to get another machine soon, like in the next few weeks, a month or so, and then revert this one back to quilting only because I kind of like having a dedicated piecing machine, dedicated sewing machine. And then this one's also 20 years old. Like I want to keep this as long as I can. So
Yes.
I don't want to wear it out. I'd also like to get it in for servicing once I get the new machine too, so that because it's probably coming up due for this soon.
Yeah, both of mine are due for service. Can't afford it right
Yeah.
now. Rita says that she's decided that lost pieces and blocks go to the same place as that sock that escaped the dryer and never found again.
Well, the socks, I think our missing socks in our house is probably underneath our bed that Finley just likes to go and chew. I think I know where our missing socks go. The missing
Well,
Tupperware lids is a whole different story. I haven't quite figured out where they disappeared to yet, but
Lana says, so Sean, you wouldn't want to sew a postage stamp quilt using 3,600 1-inch finished blocks?
I have seen those. I saw a couple of those, or the pineapple blocks, I think it was at QuiltCon last year, and I admire the folks that do that. I think they are very dedicated and they're wonderful pieces and quilters for doing something like that. But as for me doing it, unlikely. I'll never say never, but if you're expecting to see it on my next podcast, I think you'll be disappointed.
Well, you know the cheater's way to do it, don't you?
Yeah, watch someone else do it.
No, there's another way. It's called Quilter's
Okay.
Grid. It's an
Oh yeah,
interfacing product,
I have
and
some of that.
it's all set 1-inch squares. So you've got 1-inch markings, and so you line every piece up, iron it in place, or press it
Hmm.
in place, and then you fold between the fabrics, and then that's where you sew.
Yeah, Cotton Cut sent me some of that. It's a 2.5 inch version of that same thing, but I've never
Hmm.
used it. I really should try it one day and give it a whirl.
So the diagonally set quilt that I just quilted was done on that kind of interfacing as well. It was set on point, but they just press everything in place and sewed their 1/4 inch.
Oh, nice. I'm gonna have to try it and see how that works.
Chloe says the stuff came with the gnomes.
Yes, that's yeah. They wanted me to. They sent it to me maybe to try and test it, and then every time I went to go make a gnome, I always forgot. Actually, I think I have one gnome left. Maybe I should try it with the last gnome I have, um, just to see how it works. If I can find it, I don't know where I can put it now. Oh, there it is. I see it.
Lana's trying to make you laugh. She says, "But I thought you liked small."
I do, but not that many in one. I need variety. Yeah, so this is what you're talking about here. Oh, gee. No, eventually you'll see
Yes.
lines on it. There you go.
Yes. Yeah, that's the 2.5 inch size. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, maybe we'll do that with the next gnome I make. That might be a fun little project.
Yes, Rita, that would work too. Depending on how straight you can do. Um, Lana says, Tammy, I said unfinished blocks. They end up 1/2 inch finished. Oh, yeah. No, I did that with that 30-inch by 40-inch panel in my husband's Quilt of Valor. That took me 4 months to do the 30-inch by 40-inch.
Yeah.
Cynthia's asking if I've shown you my triangles. Are you talking about the micro mini project, Cynthia? Is that the one we're talking about? Let's see. And then Crafty Witch said that she's seen under the drum of her dryer, and that's where those socks go.
Yes, that's the other place they go.
I am almost to putting the center section together.
Let's see. Homes archive. With scarecrow. 20 house square triangles.
Let's see.
There we go.
Last week's quilt. Oh yes, that is the micro mini. Let me see where it's buried. It's buried. It's way buried. um,
All right,
that'll be
I'm
what I
going
pull
down a
out
rabbit
next week.
hole.
Your hand. You're fine. Super Bowl Sunday. Oh, that one. That was the morning project. That was um the term to meet you pattern. That's what she's asking about. If you'd seen my term to meet you pattern.
Yeah, I've done 1 inch half square triangles in the past with scarecrow a year or two ago, and that was a little scary. And there was 5 of those, and that's about as much as I wanted to do. So yeah, I think the whole idea of doing 3,600 1 inch squares was best left to someone else. So thank you for the invitation. You know, come back in 5 years and maybe I'll change my mind. You just never know. All
Well,
right, so we got that done.
yeah, I've got 2 projects with triangles. The one that I did in the morning was Charm to Meet You, and it's using charm packs, so it's using 5-inch squares. So it's a lot more manageable. And then the other one is that micro mini, and it's all my cutoffs from Star Systems.
Okay.
And so the finished block is going to be 2.5 inches, and there's 16 pieces in the block. 4 of them are just squares of fabric, and then the other 12 are half square triangles. I cut them down to 1 1/8.
All right. Yeah, my hat's off to you now. I thought I was the king of small pieces, but you have me beat. Well and truly beat.
I can do a lot. Susie says she made a Mondo bag with it. Works slick. Talking about that interfacing. Let's see. Oh, it is bulky. So when you sew with that interfacing, the one recommendation is to make sure you clip your seams. So,
Okay.
like when you go to flip your next seam or whatever, clip between your seam allowances so you can flip your seams whichever direction you need to go.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do that at some point. I might watch some videos first on how to use it because, like, when I first got it, I was looking at it and I was like, I don't understand how this works. I ended up calling my friend Martha, who had it as well, and she knew how to use it, and she was able to explain it to me in plain English so I could understand. But yeah, when I
It's
first
a
saw it, I was like, I really don't know what's going on here.
yeah. Cynthia says many years ago I started an Afghan of little grainy squares. I gave up after the second row of squares. I should stick with larger pieces on any project. Yeah, larger pieces do make the project go by a lot faster. But when you have
Sure.
small pieces, I will take anything that you can cut a 1 inch square out of. If you can still get a 1 inch square out of it, it is in my court. I do
Yep.
not mind.
I just keep all my scraps, and a lot of them end up in projects like this.
Yeah. I think that only I don't think I've cut a whole lot of 1 inch for this project yet. I mean, there's some that's 1 inch, but
Okay.
Lana cut out a whole bunch of 1 inch squares. She used a pair of scissors after tracing the template. Oh, it was, she was making something. She cut 700 1 inch blocks.
Scissors, good gravy. My hat's
Mm-hmm.
off to you all. Yeah.
I couldn't cut them with scissors. I would have to be cutting it with a rotary cutter. There's no
Yeah.
way.
I mean, more power to you if you can do it. Like, yeah, you had my admiration. I think it's amazing that you could do that. But if you want to race me or something, yeah, that's not likely to happen either.
Oh, I wouldn't race either.
Well,
When it
I'm
comes
also
to scissors,
left-handed. I'm left-handed, and trying to find a good pair of left-handed scissors is not fun. So,
I ended up keeping a couple of pair of left-handeds because I knew I might teach sewing and quilting related stuff later.
hmm
So I kept a whole bunch of lefty scissors for a while. I don't know if I still have them or
it
not.
it did come in quite handy. Like being left-handed did come in quite handy at the quilt show the other year because I wanted to get and try one of the Martelli rotary cutters, and so
Oh,
I got there on I think it was the quilt show started on a Thursday. I got there on Saturday at like 1 o'clock. And this place, like the store was packed. And I walked in there and I was like, there was one rotary cutter left on the thing. And it was this one here. And you'll notice it's blue.
yay! Yes, so it's
Most of them are
lefty.
red. And I was like, oh sweet, if I'd been right-handed, I would have been out of
Yep.
luck. So it's like I was so
See,
thankful they had one left for me. So
RN Fruta, welcome in. She says, I wish you would do the 365 quilt stitch along. I need some inspiration to finish mine. I will probably be picking it up um, I'm thinking late March. So just be patient. I am going to get back to it. I do have that quilt started, but I think I got through the middle of March done already. But I've got to get some of these quilts quilted and get them out of my way before I can get back into that project. But it is in the plans. Um, Rayanne says she's got a nice size bag of scraps for me. She's been going through her Mount Scrap more. Let's see.
that's
And
awesome.
oh yeah, absolutely, Pam. She says, Tammy, I think I'll mail you my 1 inch pieces before I pack up. It's not a lot, but I doubt I will ever use them. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Lana says that she bought her mom one of those because she's left-handed. She bought her
Yeah.
mom one of the lefty
Yeah, I don't
rotary
see too many
cutters.
of it like on live streams or anything else. I don't see. Yeah, everybody has the red one, and I'm like, I'm cool because I got the blue one. Like, I don't know that I've ever seen another blue one online.
I don't think I have either because I do pay attention to that.
Oh yeah, I'm always on the lookout for it now. I didn't even realize they were color coded. I just saw the
Yep.
pretty blue one. And I was like, oh, this should work. And then I found out afterwards it was left-handed. I was like, oh, even better. Like I would have been. I think the
Yeah,
sales representative said, "Do you realize this was left-handed?" I said, "No, but I'm glad it is because that works beautifully." Like I had no idea. I was so clueless. I think it was just, different colors, like, people like red ones or blue ones or green ones. I was like, where's the pink ones? Like,
I
I
would
guess they saw that
totally,
first.
I would totally buy purple one if they would make it in purple. I would
I know that they need to have like a couple of different, maybe that's a new idea for them. They can sell them in different colors. Like, I think it's great that they're color coded for like right and left, but I guess if you did purple for right-handed, the left-handed purple lovers would probably revolt. So maybe
Yeah,
they're better off
true.
just leave. Maybe
Yeah,
they're
you'd
just
have to
better off
make it.
leaving it as is.
Or, I think what they could do is offer it as an add-on. Like offer the handle grip and the parts that you can disassemble. Add that as an available option in different
Yeah, there you
colors.
go. Yeah. I don't know. I'm
That way
not I'm
you're
not
you're
close to the company, so I'm not going to be able to.
Lana said, Sean, stop losing the pieces.
I've only lost the one.
Lana's trying to keep track of you. I love it.
Hey, at this time of the night, I probably need it, so thank you.
Oh, she's fantastic
I
for
will
that.
I will take um losing a piece of fabric over and having to pull out my very, very bestest friend. So, if I have to
Yes.
choose, like I will take that any day of the week. So
So I lost my very bestest friend.
you lost
Um,
him. That's terrible.
her. I lost her. Her name was
That's
Jackie.
that's right.
Um, and so I lost her. Could not find her. I was needing her, and I was looking up and down everywhere. And my husband was like, "What's wrong?" And I said, "I cannot find my seam ripper. I can't find Jackie." And he said, "Where'd you last see her?" Like he even came in here and helped me look. And I
You
was
only
like,
have one?
I only have one with the blade style. Like I've got the others that are like the traditional style, but I like the like Fisker's one with the blade. It's easier for
Oh,
me to
okay.
use.
All right.
And so I was very, very upset. I was like, well, Michael's carries them. And Michael's, how late is Michael's open? So we were looking at Michael's because it's just down the road. We're looking at
Be
Michael's to
late.
see how late they were going to be open. And they were open still. So we loaded up and went over to Michael's, and he said, just go ahead and buy two so you've got a backup.
Smart
No
man.
joke. No joke. We get home. I've, ripped what I needed to rip. I'm done sewing for the night. I get ready to start packing things up for going somewhere the next day with my sewing gear. And guess what I find? I find the original.
I'm telling you, I think what happens there is I think Jeff Bezos has got these little minions or little elves that come into your house and move stuff so you can buy more stuff from him. I'm convinced that's what happens is that, yeah, Sam Walton and Jeff Bezos have a little army of people. Yeah, they could be like little Oompa Loompas. I don't know.
Oh, that's the funniest thing in the world. I love it. I
That'll let
love
you
it.
cast an invisibility spell on your stuff, and that way it shows up 4 hours later after you. But I don't know what
Right?
sorcery these people do, but they do something. I'm certain of it.
Well, I need everything to be in place for Friday because Friday I'm actually going to assemble the first month of temperature rings. I finally have all the arcs done except for the half arc for the end of January, but I have all of the other arcs done and I can finish the half arc easily. And then I can do an assembly. And we're gonna pray that between now and Friday I don't lose any pieces of the project. That is our goal. No lost pieces. Our Infruda says moving fairies? Yes, probably. Probably. So I now have three Jackies. One is still in her packaging, not opened, and I know where she is. I have the one at my sewing machine, and now I have one in my travel box. So,
That is awesome. Yeah, and I'd like to know in the comments too, like there's different names for it. There is my very, very bestest friend, which is my probably my unique name for it. There's Jack the Ripper, there's Jackie, there's the divorce lawyer. Um,
oh, I need that name. Oh my goodness, that's
yeah, that was
fantastic.
one. I don't know if she coined it or she used it. Yeah, it's where I started hearing it was Brandy from 100 Proof Quilters. She says that you marry the seams together and the divorce lawyer pulls them apart. So she
Oh
calls it
my god.
divorce lawyer.
Oh my god.
My other name for it is Control Z because that's a shortcut on your computer for undo. So
Yes, it
I
is.
have I have several names for it, and then there's some names I call it that I can't say here on YouTube, otherwise you'll get demonetized, and I don't want to do that to you. So
Thank you. So my I just call mine your turn. Oh, your turn.
yes,
Is if the sewing machine is done, it's your turn.
yep,
I love it. So I was gonna name it Jill. I was gonna originally name her Jill, and Jack and Jill.
yeah.
But somebody said it's a little too morbid, so I was like, okay, fine. I won't go the morbid. I'll go, Jackie instead. But now that I've got three of them, do I number them? Like, how do I keep them separate now?
So I just keep on mine in my little cup.
Well, I travel to a couple of different places to go sew,
Oh, there's
so I
my
take
scissors.
them with them.
I found my scissors I lost an hour or so ago. So that's good.
I've got a little place. So if you see in the background where my little looks like two little puffy things are, those are actually thread pickers, and they're sitting on a ruler rack. And my seam ripper typically gets set in front of that, so that's typically where she goes when I'm not actively sewing or actively needing her. So she has a home, but I don't know why I managed to lose her. Oh my goodness.
All right, Fruit,
Oh,
it says moving fairies. Yeah, that's the ones that the e-commerce retailers or the commerce retailers have employed to come take your stuff or hide them for you.
Rita
So
gave a
now they have a name.
suggestion.
I like that, the moving fairies.
Um, Rita also came up with a new name for my three seam rippers since I have three of them: Larry, Moe, and Curly.
There you go.
All right, so my goat is coming along. We have eyes and a body and legs.
And see, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. Like if it's good because I actually used it enough to actually wear it out. Oh, that's cool.
Is your lost
But
piece in that cup, Sean?
no, it's not in the cup. See, it's still empty.
Oh.
I think
Oh,
I'm starting to think that I only cut one. I do that all
yeah.
the time. Like there's at least one piece on each of these projects that I don't cut enough of. So I'm thinking that's what it was.
Cynthia says, cute goat. Thank you. Ali says, I keep saying I should make a pouch for on my treadles, but never have. Oh, it's looking adorable. I love your green background.
Yeah,
That's so
I actually got this
fantastic.
fabric. Um, what was it? 18 months ago, I think it was. And
Okay.
I didn't know what I was going to do with it. And then this project came along. And I was like, this looks like almost like grass for it. It's very similar to what I'm using for the other project.
Oh, it is very similar.
I just think anything with a farm needs to have a green background. You know, it's all
That's very
fields and grass
cute.
and that sort of thing there. So
Very, very cute. All right, let's see how I'm doing the horns. So S to G,
maybe sitting on the
T.
path. Yeah, I looked there. I'll check again. Yeah, I've looked. I really do think I didn't cut it because it couldn't have disappeared this well with how I've torn everything apart looking for it. If it shows up tomorrow or something, I'll let you all know, I promise.
Ollie says I like that, the carrots and the pig. That's the Art East farm quilt,
Yes,
isn't it?
it's the Farm Fresh sampler. It's a so long it's currently in place. It's releasing one pattern every 2 weeks. It's 13 different blocks altogether. And yeah, so that's the first one. The second pattern released today. I've cut everything out except for some of the background, so I should be able to start assembling that soon. It's supposed to be monochromatic, but I can't do that. I need more color in my life. So
We won't hate on the pig for you because it's monochromatic, or it's not monochromatic because it's not monochromatic. That's hard to
yeah,
say. That is really hard to say.
yeah, I did my monochromatic days when when I was a small boy and our first computer was like that green and black
Oh
screen,
yes.
yeah, as soon as we could get the color screens, I was like, thank goodness for that. So
All right, so
there are
these will
some
be.
beautiful, there are some beautiful monochromatic quilts out there, but I just thought that an extra pop of color for me would make me enjoy the process a whole lot more. And with that
Yeah,
much cutting and that sort of thing there, it has to be something I'm going to enjoy doing.
yeah. I am kind of loving that every block of this quilt has different sets of colors. Like every
Yes.
animal has different colors. So I am liking that. Um, yeah, I am liking that. All right, these have to be mirror image, so from there to there. Oh, I think I have the pandemic sampler as well, Lana. She says that it could. She says she's still looking for a gray skein of yarn and long dog pandemic sampler pattern. That's a cross stitch pattern.
Is that long dog yarn that she's talking
Mm-mm.
about? Because
Mm-mm.
I know I've heard of that.
Long Dog is it's by Julia Lane or Julia Line. I can't remember the last name. Um, she creates cross stitch patterns, and they are usually fairly monochromatic as well. Um, Ollie
Dog yarn
says,
thing, which is
Ollie,
nice.
Ollie says, didn't 16 colors just blow us away back then?
It did. It did. You went from CGA, which was 4, to EGA, which was 16, and then VGA, which was what, 256, I think it was.
I think so.
Yeah. See, I'm really showing my age now, so a
You're
lot of
just
people
showing
don't
that
think.
you're an early adopter. That's all it is.
Well, my dad worked in IT for many, many years, so he was pretty good at that stuff.
Let's see. Lana had an amber and black screen. That was before the green and black ones. Yes, yes, it was. Ollie had the Apple IIc, and Jess is asking Ollie, "Did you play Oregon Trail in the Apple IIc?" You know, guys, I have never played Oregon Trail. I have never died of dysentery.
Yeah, I don't know if that was, I don't think we had that game in Australia because we didn't know anything about that.
No, it was trekking across the United States, so
Oh yeah,
it
I know
would
what
have
it is
been
now. I've
yeah.
think I've played it online once or twice and that sort of thing there, but yeah, it wasn't something we would have been familiar with.
Mm-mm, I wouldn't have expected you to be. That would have been weird to. I mean, I don't know. It would strike me as odd to be in Australia playing the Oregon Trail across the United States.
Yeah, I think like we grew up with Where in the World is Carmen San Diego. I love that game. That was a lot of fun.
Yes.
Um, but yeah, I don't know. And if it was available, I don't know it would have been something I would have been super interested in because I didn't know anything about Oregon. I knew it was something in America. That was about it. So
Ollie says that he had the Oregon Trail game here in Canada. Yeah, now that I can believe. I just wouldn't.
yeah,
I
let's just
wouldn't
say.
expect it all the way across the world, though.
So I'll tell you a story, and you're all gonna laugh at me for this, but like you can laugh at me for this, and I don't care. It's fine. But
Okay.
we don't really learn a lot about US history in Australian high schools, or that, or I must have skipped those lessons. I don't know. And I'd seen some movies like Glory, which was a movie about the Civil War, with what?
Mm, I'm a horrible history a movie buff.
Yeah. Anyway, it's about the Civil War. It's about the first African American troop group of soldiers, whatever they call those, army, I guess it is,
Gotcha.
battalion or whatever it is. Anyway, it's 11 o'clock at night and I'm still functioning. This is amazing.
You're doing
That went
fantastic.
down and fought, against the Southerners in Charleston, South Carolina. I think it is Fort Sumter, I think it was.
Okay.
And so great movie. We all watched it. I think there was supposed to be a book we're supposed to read, but anytime there was a movie, I went down to the video store and rented it. I was like, I'm not reading that book. I was like, I don't care if I get a 60 on this. Like, I'll just do that. So I knew about the Civil War. I knew it was the North versus the South, and that sort of thing there. So fast forward about 5 or 6 years, I start dating my wife. I come over, to visit, and she takes me to see The Patriot with Mel Gibson and everything else in there.
Okay.
And I come out of the cinema and she asked me how it was. She said, "What did you think of it?" And I said, "I am as confused as all heck." And she said, "What are you talking about?" And I was like, "Okay, why are the Americans fighting the British, but they're also fighting the North versus the South?"
Gotcha.
I had no clue. It was two different wars,
They all blend together.
90 years apart, because I had no clue. I just thought it was all the same thing. And then I got validated about 5 years after that when my brother-in-law came across and said, yeah, he thought the same thing. So I was like, oh, thank goodness it's not just me. So yeah, you can all
Shelby
laugh at me. That's okay.
Shelby says we certainly didn't learn that much about Australian history in high school, so don't be embarrassed. I agree.
Australian history
Um,
is easy. Like I went to Barnes and Noble one time and there was this huge book, like a big encyclopedia. It was called The Entire History of the World. And you look at Europe's history and it was like, 17 chapters, and US history had a decent amount in there. And I was like, oh, let's look for Australian history. It was like 2.5 paragraphs because nothing happened down there. The most interesting, the interesting stuff is before English settlement, the Aboriginal Dreamtime stories and how they lived and everything else is fascinating. If you ever get a chance to learn about that, do it. It's really interesting to learn about. But English settlement, yeah, basically the Dutch and the French found the West Coast. They found it was a desert. They went back to Europe. And then the British found that Captain Cook in 1770 on the East Coast. He said, okay, this is good. And that was right around the time that the Americans said, see you later, King George. And they needed a new place to send the convicts to, and that's how they settled Australia. And past that, they had a gold rush in 1800 something, and that's pretty much it. So there you go. Now you know Australian history in about
hey,
42 seconds.
I was about to say we got the whole class. That's not
You got the whole
fair.
class. Yes. See,
Had to wait this long to get it.
well, no one asked me before, so there you go. All right, so I've got
Oh,
this much done.
yay! That's where mine is at so far. Yay!
Camera's not being friendly. There you go.
Yours
Yep. So
is
that looks.
gray and green, and mine is gray and gray.
Yes. But it's fun seeing them in two different colors. Like just changing the colors up a little bit makes a huge difference
Oh, it
on the end
does.
result.
It
So it's
does.
fun to be able to see that.
I am now on
Gee.
the horns. And in true fashion, I am totally cutting off the triangles and sewing them back together. The cut off triangles from the horse, I sewed them together and made half square triangles out of. So these are big enough that I will save them
Yep.
because they'll come out a decent size. They won't be super tiny. Shelby says nice work. Jess says looks great. Chloe says adorable. Ollie says I love seeing them in two different colors and makers. Yes, it's fantastic. Oh, these will come out over an inch. They won't be all the way down to an inch. So we're still good.
Oh, nice.
And I knocked a piece onto the floor. Oh,
If you find my missing piece of fabric, let me know.
doubt it traveled this far.
No, since I did it flew pretty quick.
It
I need to get on
did.
that plane.
Rita says the difference in the movie, they talked about Revolutionary War, which was 13 colonies separating from Britain. Civil was uh, in the U.S. of North states versus South states, basically. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
I know that all.
that's
I know that all now, but back in 2001 or whatever it was released, I wasn't paying that close attention, and I didn't pay attention in class, so I didn't have to. So, oh well, it's okay. You can all have a laugh at me, and it's okay. So,
Oh no, it's not laughing at you. It's
oh, I think it's funny. Like, it was funny that I had no clue. Like,
well, I mean, to be fair, I would love to go visit Italy or Scotland, but could I tell you half of their history? No, I probably couldn't. Oh, welcome in, Martha. She says, "Good evening, good morning. Glad you are here." Um, awesome, Crafty Witch. She says she's headed out to watch a movie with her husband. Night all. Good
Martha's up
night.
late. She's like me. She's an early. I didn't. She's usually asleep before now. So, good evening,
Oh,
Margaret. It's good to see you.
glad you are here. Very glad you're here. All right, let's see. I've got both horns. I just gotta press them. And then I gotta make the row that they go on.
That's that.
I only have 3 more of these to do after this one.
Yeah, and I'll be done, and then I can not have to worry about it again until next month.
She says, climbing into bed and hopping onto YouTube to see what's going on. And wow, I see y'all online. That's fantastic, Martha. Thank you so
Yep.
much. I am usually the
Um,
late show.
yes.
Um, Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'm not this late. Now, Friday, I'm not going to be super late. It's 5:30 is when I think I've got it scheduled for right now, Mountain Time. So that's working on temperature rings. I need to get some work in on it and need to teach too. Welcome in, Sandy. She says, hi, Tammy and Sean. Just stopping by to say hi before I fall asleep. We appreciate
Fair
that.
enough. Yep. I'll be going to bed after this too, I think, because I've got to get up and go to work tomorrow.
Yes, you do. Yes, you
But
do.
thankfully, I get to work from right here, so um, it's not too bad.
Yeah.
If I had to
Sean, are
drive
you
into the
planning?
office, I'd be a whole different story.
Yes, you were just answering Cynthia's question. She was asking if you're planning to pull an all-nighter, and she hopes that you don't have to work tomorrow.
Yeah, it's one of our partially staffed holidays, so I sh hopefully we'll get off early. It should be a fairly quiet day.
Oh no, Martha's household is recovering from the flu.
Yeah, she was telling
Ouch.
me that earlier this week, and I was like, oh no. We've managed to touch wood. So far, we've managed to avoid that in this house, which is kind of an achievement in itself since we've got the two girls at one school, my wife at another.
Yeah.
I go hang out, I go to the store and the office and all that stuff. Thankfully, I don't tend to get it. I seem to be like almost immune to it, the flu. I get bronchitis like nobody's business, but the flu I seem to avoid. But how the others have managed to avoid it so far is a small miracle. So,
I never got the flu until I started getting the flu shot. Once I started getting the flu shot, I caught the flu every year. I got the flu shot. So they told me to
hmm
stop taking the flu shot, which I
yep,
did.
I've heard that
Um,
before of different people.
yeah. So as long as I don't get the flu shot, I'm usually okay. But my
So,
husband, when he gets anything upper respiratory, it lasts forever. Um, let's see. Rita says if someone said I could go anywhere on the globe where I would love to see is Tasmania. I think it would be amazing to see.
I've heard Tasmania is beautiful. I have not made it down there yet. Of course, the rest of my family's gone down there at least once. But I've heard it's really, really nice. New Zealand is amazing. If you ever get a chance to go to New Zealand, go to the South Island, go visit the Southern Alps, go see the glaciers, go to Queenstown, go see it all. It's amazing. That's one place I want to return to quite badly, but it's not cheap to fly there, and it takes a very,
No.
very long time to get there. So I think I'll just be watching it on YouTube for a while.
Lana's wanting to know, Sean, what do you think about our historical winter we're having?
Cold. Um, It's been pretty cool here. Our temperatures here actually have been like roller coaster. Sometimes it's freezing cold, and today it was like 68. And I don't know what it's
Oh,
going to be tomorrow. It's kind of like, I feel like Busch Gardens, which is our local theme park, is doing a weather roller coaster. So I'm ready for spring. Let's just put it that way.
oh. Then let's see.
I,
Jackie says there are actually two wars with the British. One was the Revolutionary War in 1776, and the second was called the War of 1812 when the British started
yep.
impressing American sailors. Yes. Um, Joyce
See,
and Martha both want to visit Ireland.
I've heard that's very nice. Yeah, my knowledge of US, like, it's funny because like when I got here originally, came to visit the first couple of times, I knew next to nothing. Now my knowledge of history is pretty good. I've taken a couple of college classes for it.
Oh, yay.
My wife is a US history major from college. I can pass the US citizenship history exam if need be. I've done the practice test a few times. We do that at work sometimes when we're slow and to see how we do. And
Yeah.
my coworker and I, Sandesh, he's from Mumbai, India, and
Okay.
we score much higher than the rest of the team who's all Americans. So, yeah, we take
Not
a little bit of
surprised.
pride. Yeah, we take a little bit of pride in that. So,
Oh. Um, Ireland is beautiful, says Chloe. Lana says we have a bomb cyclone coming through.
oh, those things are never
Um,
fun.
and then
We had a
Ollie
bunch of high
says,
winds here today.
yeah. Ollie says he lives close to an 1812 battle site. I cannot say that. I cannot say that I live close to one of those. Wyoming
Yeah.
did not become a state until 1890, so we were not in any of the famous battles or any of that that end up in the history books. We have other famous stuff, but not that.
See, whereas if you want to learn about early US history, you cannot pick a better place than where we're located
Yeah,
right now. I mean, I can go to Yorktown, I can go to Jamestown, where the first permanent settlement is, the Monitor Merrimack Battle, or the USS Virginia, whichever one you want to call it. That all happened here. There's wonderful museums here that teaches you all that stuff. Mount Vernon, where George Washington lived, is a couple of hours up the road. Monticello, George, not George, TJ, Thomas Jefferson. James
yeah,
Madison's house is not too far. There's so much history here, like, which is fantastic when we have the exchange students because, we can take them and show them the places that they learn about in their US history classes. So we're very, very fortunate. If they want to learn about the Western expansion, they're kind of on their own because we can't afford to take them out to the Wild West to show them that. As much as I'd like to, I'd love to go out there and take a look at like Dodge City and some of that
yeah.
fun stuff, but
Tasha's
realistically, we just don't have the money for that.
Tasha's going off to bed. Good night, Tasha. Thank you for being here.
Yes, thank
Um,
you.
Martha says that she lives in Lower Alabama, and the last cold we got snow. Yes. So my parents actually live in Alabama still, and they were actually really, really mad. My dad was mad that everywhere around them got snow except for them. Like they ended up not getting any snow whatsoever. My dad was actually really mad that he didn't get snow.
That's how
Um,
it is here. Like, um, you always hear about it's going to snow, it's going to snow, it's going to snow, and then like Williamsburg and Richmond, which is an hour, 2 hours up the road, they all get everything, and then we always get missed. I started telling everybody, look, even 12 hours before, the weatherman will tell you, okay, we're getting 4 inches, and the idea is you divide that by four, and that's what you might get. They never get it right. So
we we I didn't think we had snow on the radar for today, but we got snow today. Um, but our snow doesn't necessarily stay all that long. Martha says, "Oh no, why didn't they get snow? I'm surprised they didn't." The snow just completely passed them by. People north of them and people south of them got it, but where they were just did not get anything. Oh, welcome in,
Yeah.
Joe. She says, Lana, did you catch my comment from a few minutes ago for you? I missed your comment, Joe. Welcome in.
Yeah, because we can't. I'm losing focus in the chat too. Probably first because it's later than I'm usually up, and secondly, I'm trying not to make any more mistakes.
Oh, you're fine.
So far the only one I've made is running out of bobbin thread and losing a piece of fabric, which I may or may not have ever cut.
That's okay. Um, Joyce says that they got snow again yesterday. She's ready for spring. There's a lot
Yep,
of
me.
people saying that. I'm not ready for spring yet.
I was ready
Um,
for spring back before fall ended, so
so Cynthia has a question, and it's up to you. She says, Sean, what town do you live in? If you're okay saying it on live stream, my husband lives in Lynchburg.
okay. I am in the Hampton Roads area, down by Virginia Beach, Norfolk, that sort of thing there. So Lynchburg is about 3 hours west of us. Been
Oh,
there a
okay.
couple of times. Yeah, so we're not too far away.
Joe just admitted she's been lurking. And Martha's asking, what are we working on? We're working on the goat from Fab Farm from Elizabeth Hartman.
We've
So
done
if you
part of
need,
it.
yep, we both have that section of the goat done. My four horsemen are up on up on the wall. The four horses are up on the wall. Um,
Yes.
and Sean's got his with his strawberry already in it. And we're working on the top of the goat. That's what we're trying to keep track of. Because these
Yeah.
are tiny pieces. There's some fun pieces, but they're definitely tiny.
Yeah.
Chloe says she's done shoveling snow for this winter. And Ollie
Yeah.
got a foot of snow today and last night.
Been a lot of
um,
high winds. I don't know about you guys, but we've had a lot of high winds here, and someone sent me a picture of this ship that got wrecked up in Newfoundland the other night. So yeah,
oh
they've had
gosh.
some. Yeah.
So I have to ask
Uh-huh.
because I'm living in Casper. We are known for our wind. What do you classify as high wind?
I mean, anything tropical storm force or above is high wind to me. I guess
Okay.
probably 45 and above would be
Okay.
high winds for us. When well, actually, they had a cruise ship dock here, um, in Norfolk, and it was supposed to leave tonight, but the winds were too high. So the ship's, instead of sailing out at 6 p.m. tonight, I think it's supposed to leave tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. So those people still
Gotcha.
get to enjoy the night on the ship. They just won't be going anywhere. So
um, Martha says she now understands why people don't like snow. Okay, so snow in lower Alabama is not the same as snow where we are. Joe says the goat and the four horsemen sounds like a band or a good book title. Oh dear. Oh dear. um, so our snow here is dry, at least here where I'm at in Casper. It's typically dry. And somebody was asking me, well, why don't you make a snowman? You can't make a snowman with our
just tell
snow.
you that much I know.
Yeah, you pick it up and it falls out of your hands like it's sand.
That's the stuff you
Oh,
want to ski on, right?
yes, the powder. Yes, absolutely. Um, Joyce says that they got 3 inches of snow yesterday. I don't know how much we got. Susie, she's up this way too. She says tired of the cold, but it's actually been a pretty mild winter here. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm feeling. It's like this feels mild, even for me. This feels mild. We have not had that many below freezing nights, not like we did last year, and what I was looking at the year before that. So this is not our normal winter. I'm just happy to see more snow than I saw last year. Last year was horrible. We got hardly any snow.
Yeah,
We
we
need
didn't get
it.
much either.
Well, if we don't get enough snow and snowpack, we won't have enough water in the ground come spring, and it will
Okay.
make our um, our wildflower season worse.
Gotcha.
Joy says it's not always dry, but this year it sure has been. Yeah, it definitely. This has been drier than it was even last year. Last year was a wet snow. Um, let's see. Cynthia says that their neighbor here in Oklahoma is stationed in Norfolk. We hope to go see him and his wife when she's back in Virginia this summer. Aw.
Well, let me
That'll
know
be
when you're
nice.
coming down this way. Maybe we'll grab coffee or something.
Now it's gonna be
Yeah, 'cause
funny
Norfolk's
is,
not
huh?
Norfolk's not that like Norfolk's like 15. I can probably be in downtown Norfolk in 15 minutes. So it's
Oh,
not
that's not bad.
yeah. In Norfolk, yeah, Norfolk Naval Station, I can see as I'm crossing one of the bridges, within 12 minutes or so. It's yeah. It's a nice area to live. I remember I've only ever seen it once and I could not get a camera out in time to do this, but I was going across one of the main bridge tunnels here
Uh huh.
and you see the naval base across the bay and you see like the aircraft carriers and the battleships and all that sort of stuff there. But this particular day as I'm driving, I forget where I was going. It was early in the morning. All of a sudden this submarine just pops out of nowhere and
Oh
is
my
floating
gosh.
across, just floating along next to the interstate.
That is pretty wild.
Yeah, like
Um,
I'd seen them docked at the naval station before, but yeah, seeing one out in the open and like just, hey, here I am. It was really neat to see. But it's like I couldn't get my camera out in time. Plus, I was driving down the road and I figured I'd probably wreck or
yeah.
attract the attention of Johnny Law, which I didn't want to do. So
No. Janet says
sadly, there's
finished
no
working.
pictures to prove it.
Yeah. Janet says finished working on our EPP project for the evening. Thanks for sharing your lovely projects. Good night, everyone. Good night, Janet. Thank you for being here. We
Yes, thank
appreciate
you.
it. Cynthia says she will do. She says sounds like a plan.
All
Reach out to
right.
you if they're coming into town.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
the drive for you to get to Norfolk is like me driving across town. Like literally, I'm on one end of town. I can drive and be at the other end of town in 15 minutes.
yeah, it's a fairly big area. Like I think if you drove from from the ocean front of Virginia Beach to the other side of the area, like Williamsburg, it's a good, well, depending on traffic, um, hour and a half. We're a fairly big area. It's like a million or some people, I think, in this area, but
I think that's more than in the state of Wyoming.
I know.
Oh, you're welcome, Lana. She says, "Oh, Tammy, I got my pattern. Thank you so much, hon. You're so welcome. You're so very welcome." Joe
This
says
side,
her dad's first church was in a tiny town in southern Maryland. She was 6 years old. That's exciting. I've been to Maryland a few times. I've been everywhere except the top three states on that eastern coast, so Maine, New Hampshire, and Vermont. I haven't been to either any of those. For sure, I have not been to them, not even driven through them. And I haven't been to Hawaii. Those are the only
does
ones
the
I haven't
airport
been to.
count?
Huh?
Does the airport count for Hawaii?
Um, I guess we can count
Oh, so
it.
if that's the case. If that's the case, that I've been there twice.
Oh, Shelby says we have that subs over west of me near Bremerton and Bainbridge Island. It's quite odd seeing the pop above the surface. Lol.
Yeah, because they've got a
Now,
fairly big base out there too.
is that Bainbridge, Georgia? Is that,
No,
or
Washington
that's a different
State.
Bainbridge? Oh, gotcha,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah, so
Thank you.
like near the Seattle area, I think it is, if I remember correctly. And
That sounds
you
right.
can correct me if I'm wrong, which I probably am.
Oh, Susie, show me up. So she also lives in Wyoming as well. She says 5 minutes for me if I hit red on all three stoplights, getting from one end of town to the other.
Well, that's how it was in the last place. Like the last place I lived in Australia was a little village like that. It was like, well, they didn't even have any stoplights. You had to go through three roundabouts, I think, to get through town.
Joe says she's missing Washington and Alaska to have all 50. Yeah, I've been to Alaska. I went to Alaska in college. All the rest of them, uh, New York and south and west of New York, um, has been as an adult. New York and Boston, and I believe Rhode Island was all as a teenager, where, of course, you don't remember as much as you should because you're
Right.
a distracted teenager.
Right. Yeah, East Coast I've been everywhere except for Vermont and New Hampshire. It's the only two I'm missing on the East Coast. Um, really, this east of the Mississippi, I think I'm missing Mississippi, Ohio, and that's probably it.
Okay.
And then the New Hampshire and Vermont. But I think, yeah, east of the Mississippi, that would be the only ones.
Okay, that's not too bad. Math Geek Shelby says just a ferry ride away from Seattle is where Bainbridge Island is.
Yeah,
Perfect, perfect.
I thought that's
S-
what it was. I mean, my West US geography north of like Marin Isle, Marin County is a little fuzzy.
Cynthia says that she's east of Tulsa, that big suburb on the east side. Oh, good night, Martha. Thank you. She says good night, Tammy,
Yes.
Sean, and all. Thank you for
Thank
being
you.
here.
We'll be done soon, I think, right? How
Oh
much more
yeah.
do you have?
Not much. I'm working on the last two sections that go to the top, and I'm actually pressing them out
Okay. You might just beat me a little bit, but that's
now.
okay.
Hey, Kathy's been beating me every Thursday night. Not that we're racing, but she's definitely been beating me every Thursday night. These are long little strips. And of course, my seam allowance isn't exact. I need to get better about my seam allowance.
I think the thing that's helped me the most with my seam allowance is first testing it and then also having a foot with a guide on it.
Yeah, I probably need to
Like, I don't
swap
think,
to the guide for this project.
yeah, like the 57 foot works really well for these projects if you have that
Yeah,
one floating around.
I do. It's in my
Yeah.
box. It's not the D though. I have dual feed on this machine, so I tend to
Okay.
use my dual feed. So I've got a 37D, or well 97D, which has the eighth of an inch and quarter of an inch markings.
Okay.
So I've been using that, but I probably do need to swap for this going forward.
Yeah, the Brother machine had a really, really nice guide on its foot. And
Yeah.
when I switched to this one, I didn't realize the 57 had a guide on it. And someone mentioned it, and I was like, "Oh, thank goodness for that!" I looked at, I had the 57, and so I stuck that on there, and it's been a whole lot easier since.
Yeah, I probably need to swap to it for this, at least for this project,
Yeah, for this sort
because
of little thing, I would highly recommend it. I'm doing the ears right now.
I'm coming out, and I think it is that I'm using just a scant quarter inch instead of a full quarter. So a
Yeah,
scant quarter works on a lot of things, but she wrote this with a full quarter.
yeah.
So
All right, so that goes that way, that goes that way. We'll put you here,
I am to the
right?
ends.
Yes. Okay. Sorry, I'm talking to myself.
You're
Do it all the
fine.
time.
I'm getting to
But
do
people
that
know I'm
last
weird
seam, that
already.
last big seam. We're quilters. We talk to ourselves. We need expert opinion sometimes.
I don't know why I'm talking to myself, then I need to go talk to someone else. That. Okay, so apparently Katie's pancakes were very tasty. That's good to know. Well,
Aw,
that turned out nicely.
I'm jealous. You didn't make enough for the rest of us.
Yeah, I'm telling you, you got to look up a recipe for the the sheet pan pancakes.
Ollie says he uses the 100-plus-year-old bed guides that go on the machine bed, the
Oh, okay.
magnetic ones that go on the machine bed for
Yeah,
finding
I've
his
I've
seam
never tried
allowance.
those, but it's good to know that they work.
They will really work on your Bernina because your Bernina has that metal base to the bed.
But how is it magnetic, and how would that work with the computer? Because I've always
Um,
heard you can't put anything magnetic on there if it's computerized, but you know more than
you're
I do. So,
you're not putting it up here. You're only putting it
oh, so down
down
here is fine.
against,
Okay.
yeah,
All right,
down there is
cool.
fine. There's no
Okay.
computerized parts down in that section of the machine.
All right. As I say, I know you know a lot more about these things than I do, so that's why I was like, I'm comfortable asking.
Yeah, I actually I don't know if I still have it or not. I used to have the service manual for the 440.
Okay,
I do still have it for the 350 that I've got, but I don't think I have it for the 440 anymore.
that's fine.
Because I didn't keep a 440.
That's okay.
I
I
kept a
mean,
five I kept a
this foot
580
seems to be doing a
originally.
good job. So,
Yeah, they're good machines. I did not have very many problems out of 440s ever. They were fantastic. I think he
I mean,
looks cute.
I've been very happy with it.
I love that they, at least for the Quilters edition, did they send you home with the BSR or did you have to buy it separately?
No, it came with it.
Yeah, I love that part of it. That
And
they
I
sent
rarely
you home
use
with
it.
it. Oh, I bet. If I could put the Bernina stitch regulator on my long arm, I totally would do it because it works so much better than any of the other stitch regulation things that I found out there. Like I've tested
Well,
other
I
people's
saw
long
it.
arms and such.
I don't know if you're familiar with the Sew Steady tables,
Hmm.
the extension tables. Yeah,
Yep.
they've actually developed one now, and I didn't realize they had this, and I wish I knew this through. Like, I don't think they had it when I bought mine, but they actually have a function now where you can actually, it's like a BSR special one where you actually put the BSR underneath it, and it actually scans that way.
Oh, okay.
And I
Yeah,
was
for
like, that
like
is
other
ridiculous.
machines or such. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's actually specifically designed for the BSR. And
Oh.
so instead of putting it on your foot, it actually goes underneath, and they've got to cut
Hmm.
a hole for you to stick it in. You'll have to go look at it. I'm doing a terrible job explaining it, but
Yeah, I'll look it up. I actually, so you said the so steady.
yeah,
That's the one that fits on the tabletop. I
yeah.
had one of those for my brunette, but then I bought the so easy table, and I have the inserts for for my machines. So
Okay.
mine is done whenever you're ready.
Yeah,
Let's
I got one more
see.
seam to sew.
Oh, you're good. Joe says Bernine makes a 1/4 inch foot with a great adjustable guide. Yes, they make a lot of different feet. Um, and if you have them, you know how much they're worth. I mean, they're worth their weight in gold. I mean, they are fantastic feet.
They almost
Can't
charge you
hardly
their
break
weight in
them.
gold.
Yeah, huh?
I said they almost charge you their weight in gold.
They almost do. They almost do. You're not wrong.
Yeah, because I
But
bought a ruler foot and it was on a show discount, and I should have bought it the first time I went because it was like $30 cheaper than next year. I think it
mm-hmm.
was like even at the show special, I think it was 2 years ago. So who knows how much they are now? I think it was like $119.
Yep, that sounds about right.
It's like good
Um,
gravy.
I
You've seen better
have
words.
I have the Spanish hem stitch foot. I have for the embroidery unit. I can do the crystal work. I can do the paint works or the drawing with the pens. I can do that.
Okay.
I can do the cut work. Like I mean, I've got all the tools to do it all, but the feet are insanely expensive. I couldn't rebuy it now if I wanted to. Could not afford
Right.
to. Um, oh, Cynthia says breakfast for dinner is the best. She just asked her family if they wanted her to make chocolate gravy and biscuits for dinner tomorrow night. She's craving some. Um, Ollie's
Yeah, my
asking
wife
what.
craves it once in a while.
I am not a biscuits and gravy person. I'm
I mean
never
breakfast for
been.
dinner, and I can't
Oh,
stand that. Is it that white sausage gravy or whatever it
a
is?
lot of people make that. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm not a.
you can have my share.
Yeah, that will pass it down the table.
Me too, along with the
um,
grits.
oh, I love the grits. If you put cheese and then salt and pepper, they're fantastic.
I'll just
Um,
put mine. I'll just put mine straight in the trash can. I mean, to me, that looks like that stuff. and I'm probably going to offend people, and I'm probably going to lose a bunch of subscribers on this. But it's been a day for that anyway. So,
You're on my channel. You're
um,
not going to lose subscribers off of my channel.
I don't know, like that. But to me, it looks like that stuff that you give babies before they, as they wean off milk onto solids. It looks like
Yeah,
that, whatever that stuff is called. So I
that
didn't grow
cereal
up with it.
stuff.
It wasn't for me. So if you like grits, great. If you ever come to my house, you can have my share too. So here we go.
Yay! I love them. I love them. It turns out so cute.
I know. Yeah, this was a fun block. This was fairly easy.
And so
I thought it was one of the
next month is the cow.
The cow has a lot of pieces. And I've made
That's what
this,
I'm
and for
saying.
anyone watching that, kind of like, how does he know so much about this? I've made this pattern before. I made it about 13 months ago. And the cow has a lot of pieces. It's a lot, there's gonna be a lot of cutting, but it actually goes together pretty quickly because a lot of the pieces are bigger.
Yeah.
So, um, take that into consideration when we do this one next time around. It may take us a bit longer, but I don't think it's gonna be a whole lot longer. So, um, that's that, thankfully.
Let's see. See if anything. Shelby says, challenge accepted, Sean. I love shrimp and grits. I love it too. Um, and Ollie, you asked what brand long arm I have. It is an Encore, Encore, 18 by 6 is the measurements for it. Um, and before you say anything else, the only thing I really, 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 really would love to find would be a foot pedal that is like a button or a slider that's actually like a hand pedal because I'm literally holding my foot pedal in my hand as I quilt.
Wonder if you could find a friend that's like an electrician or something that can wire something up for you.
I probably could. I probably
You
could.
know,
I just
like
haven't gotten into it yet to see.
if it's the same mechanism, it's probably just like if you can find a variable speed. I don't know. I don't know enough
Yeah,
about
maybe.
electrics to, but if you just take out the foot pedal and replace it with something else, like I don't know,
Maybe. I still want to be able to sit it down on the floor and use the foot pedal every so often,
maybe have a
and then
plug-in
put it back
thing
on
so
the
you can
frame.
have them where it's
Yeah,
a plug-in, so you can plug in either the foot pedal in or the other thing. There may be something online out there where you can buy. I don't
I've looked. I have not been able to find one anywhere.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm stuck.
I'm
But
I'm not that good at that stuff, so there you
well,
go. But yeah, no, no.
go ahead.
Okay, so a lot of people like grits. That's awesome. Um, you can have my grits and I'll take your Vegemite. How about that?
You can have
Break,
my Vegemite.
breakfast of champions. I love that stuff. So, um, I was very disappointed. My nephew, my sister's first child, first time he tried Vegemite, he turned his nose up at it. I'm like, I'm gonna have to disown you. But then the second time he tried it, he liked it, and he's liked it ever since. I was like, okay, we won't have to deport you from Australia for that. So there you go.
Well, thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight, Sean. I
Oh,
really
no problem. It
appreciate
was
that.
it was fun. I enjoyed it. Hopefully my customers will be nice to me tomorrow. Otherwise, I may be looking for a new job Tuesday. Um,
I think they'll be understanding. Just
I
say
know.
you woke up on the wrong side of the bed.
I'll be fine. It's fine. And it's a holiday for most of the ports in the US and Canada, so that'll make it a lot easier. And
Yeah,
I can always tell them, hey, look, I got to go talk to my manager, get him off the phone. I've done that before.
we won't tell. It's just on
Yep,
YouTube.
exactly. I don't think they know what I'm doing right now, so they'll be fine. All right, Joe says
Um,
Vegemite is tasty. Oh, thank goodness I have a friend in this world here. Most
we
people in the US do not like it. I've discovered there's about 29 out of 30 Americans despise the stuff. There's one out there that does like it. So it looks like Joe is my 130. So thank you so much for that. Um, There you go. So thank you. Yeah, thank you for having me. It was a lot of fun hanging out with you late at
Absolutely.
night. It's not my norm, but I think we powered through it pretty quickly. I still
Yep.
have not found that piece of fabric, so I just don't think I can it. I really don't. But if it appears, I'll let you all know. I'll post a picture of it on
The
Tammy's
missing
Facebook group or
piece.
something. Yeah, and I'll tell the
Yes.
story behind it.
Oh, that would be fantastic. So we're doing this again next month. Be watching for the dates because I'll put his listing up here as well on the date that we're doing it. So when I start posting March listings, you guys keep an eye out. It's going to be another Sunday evening. We'll have Sean
Yep.
back over here. We'll keep going
Mhm.
through this until we get through all of the animals or until one of us taps out, whichever comes first.
We'll get it done. I want to make this. I want to finish this one. This is a fun project, and it's not that hard. I mean, I think we've got the cow. What's after that?
Let's see.
Scrolling down the cow, and then after that is I
Is
was
the
looking at it earlier,
chicken.
and I shouldn't. The chicken. The chicken's super
Oh,
easy. Um,
okay.
he's easy. He doesn't take us. He's fairly small. This chicken compared to the Artie's chicken I'm about to attempt tomorrow is gonna be it's gonna be a piece of
Oh,
cake.
it's gonna be the pig that's
Um,
gonna get us.
the pig I think was pretty easy. The bee is super simple. We could
Easy.
probably do that in 45 minutes. That one will be nice and easy. The piggy
Okay.
wasn't too bad. The one that's going to set you back and might be a two-parter is going to be the sunflowers.
Oh yeah, because there's gonna be
It's- On the
all
sheep is
those
super easy too. That
all
one's
those
a quick and
angles.
easy one.
Oh, well, there's two different sunflowers. So there's a short
Yeah,
sunflower and a tall sunflower. So
yeah.
that'll have to be two parts. Okay.
And that one really tripped me up because I put that one together at a retreat. I got up to the retreat and I realized I left my quarter inch foot at home, and I was like, okay, well, I brought nothing else. I'll just put it together and hope it's close enough, and it wasn't. And yeah, oh, it was a mess. So yeah,
Oh
that was like when
goodness.
I really discovered that quarter inch is very, very important, especially with that sun. If it was any other block, I probably could have gotten away, but I was able to stretch it and work my magic, and get it to work. But it was not an easy thing at all. So Joe says here that check into a featherweight pedal. I think it would be easy to rewire, and they have the button. So that might be something to look into as
It
well.
it might work, but I still want something that I can put in my hand. That's on the handles. So there,
Yeah,
I know there's like smaller ones out there that might be even
right.
easier than that. But I'm not ready to start the electrical part of my career yet, so I may leave it to someone else. Um,
Yeah.
but all right, guys. So you guys will see me again Tuesday night, 6 p.m. Mountain time. You'll see me again Thursday night, 6 p.m. Mountain Time. I will have Kathy from My Hobby Home here. We will continue working on Land That I Love. So we'll be putting the next sampler block together, and so we will have enough to make the next row. So after this upcoming Thursday, you guys will probably start seeing our quilts grow by an extra row. And then Friday, I've got a special live coming up for temperature rings. We are going to be putting month one together. So that's going to be M1, M2, M7, and 8, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So those block pieces, we're going to be putting those together. So you guys are going to get to see how that goes together. And then Saturday starts our retreat. If you guys have not signed up for the Zoom retreat, it is free. Please make sure in Tuesday night's live or Thursday night's live to sign up for that retreat so that I can send the link out Friday evening. And it will be all weekend. You guys can come and go as you please, and we'll end an hour before my live Sunday night 1 week from now. So have a great night. Thank you so much for being here, and we will see you again in